Top 3 musicians who hated Freddie Mercury. Freddie Mercury, the acclaimed British singer and songwriter, rose to international fame as the lead vocalist and pianist of Queen. Renowned for his remarkable talent and creativity, he was a prominent figure in the rock music scene. Mercury's striking outfits and mesmerizing stage presence made him one of the most iconic performers of the 20th century. With a powerful 4-octave vocal range and a theatrical style, he significantly influenced the distinctive sound of Queen. Mercury's musical career began in 1969 when he joined the band Ibex. After performing with several other groups, he eventually met his future Queen bandmates. The band officially formed in 1970 with guitarist Brian May and drummer Roger Taylor, and bassist John Deacon joined in 1971. Queen's debut album came out in 1973, but they truly gained fame with Killer Queen from their 1974 album Sheer Heart Attack. They reached legendary status with the iconic Bohemian Rhapsody from their 1975 album A Night at the Opera. By the mid-1980s, Mercury began to shift his focus towards solo projects. Despite Mercury's acclaim as one of rock's greatest performers and Queen's significant influence in the 70s and 80s British rock scene, they had their share of detractors. Some fellow musicians and critics openly expressed their dislike for both Mercury and Queen. Here are 3 musicians who hated Freddie Mercury the most. Sid Vicious. Sid Vicious of the Sex Pistols openly expressed his disdain for Freddie Mercury. Vicious held a strong personal aversion to Mercury, evident in an interview with BBC Radio in 1977. The Sex Pistols, champions of raw punk rock, viewed Queen as the antithesis of their style. Vicious and Johnny Rotten criticized Queen's polished image and theatricality, which contrasted sharply with the punk ethos. This divide echoed a larger conflict between the two musical genres, with Vicious frequently disparaging Mercury, once referring to him as revolting. He described a shocking encounter with Mercury, noting, "I saw Freddie Mercury in person. He's absolutely hideous, like an old Turk. And he talks about things like, oh, the ballet is quite good this season. He's absolutely awful." During a notable interaction, Vicious mocked Mercury, asking, "Have you succeeded in bringing ballet to the masses yet?" Mercury swiftly retorted, according to Queen's roadie Peter Hince, by walking over and quipping, "Aren't you Stanley Ferocious or something?" Steve Walsh. Steve Walsh, the frontman of the progressive rock band Kansas, is somewhat of a mystery when it comes to acknowledging fellow artists. Although he is known for his passion for music, he can be quite critical of his peers, possibly due to pride or indifference. His feelings about Queen are just as complex. He has been known to commend the band while disparaging Freddie Mercury. It seems that Walsh had a particular issue with Mercury, possibly linked to the frontman's sexuality and Queen's LGBTQ and fanbase. "Freddie was a complete idiot," Walsh remarked. "The rest of the guys were great, gay, not that there's anything wrong with that, but great." He further suggested a belief that Mercury had an inflated ego that did not match his talent. Paul Weller. Paul Weller, the frontman of The Jam, has also been known to harbor negative feelings towards Freddie Mercury and Queen. Weller's candid critiques of many prominent figures in the music world often garner attention. He specifically targeted the praise Mercury received as a spokesman for the vulnerable, a title Weller deemed unearned. Weller derided Mercury's ambition to make ballet more accessible to the working class, saying, "He said he wanted to bring ballet to the working classes," emphasizing his disdain for Mercury's efforts to make elite pursuits more accessible to everyone. Mercury's bold efforts to fuse high art with rock were viewed as pretentious acts rather than true innovation. His refusal to conform to their standards only fueled their resentment even more.